And we're back. We've had our sausage sizzle, we've tasted our delicious fairy bread, and we've built some Maori dice and played a little bit of a drawing game with that. So now we're going to move on to making a saltwater coral reef, or at least an ice crystal version of it. What is a coral reef? It is a series of organic stuff. More information can be found in this pamphlet. I don't remember exactly, but I do know that it's made from living creatures, not like I thought when I was younger. And so there's a lot of great information in the instructions on what a coral reef is, why they're important to the environment and that type of thing. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to be making our own crystal coral reef. So the things that you'll need are some warm water, about a half a cup of salt and a spoon to stir, and a pair of scissors. The things that you'll get from our kit is the rest of the stuff that's inside the Australia kit, plus I did throw it in there on accident before, plus you'll find in your box a thing of Gorilla Glue. Now this is actually for the wood project, but we're going to cheat and use this on our project too. So take a moment, go find it, then bring it back out. So inside your kit you have that wood, the Gorilla Glue, you have a shell, you have some food coloring right there, and then you have a string and 2 toothpicks. Now I have pre-done this because my hands are really big and looking at them tying knots is kind of weird. So it was 1 string. What I have done is I have tied it to both toothpicks like so, and I've used so that it would stretch across the top of this like that. And then I've used the rest of the string to tie a small space there. So you're going to do all of that work, and then when you're done you can come back. And then what we're going to do is we'll use the inside of the lid to do this. Is we're going to take our shell. Your shell might look the same, might look different, might be bigger, might be smaller. Shells come in all different sizes. It makes them really, really cool. So we're going to take our shell and we are going to, now to use the glue, the first time it hasn't been opened yet, so it's sealed. So you screw this on really tight. That opens the glue up like that. And then you unscrew the orange part. And then you're ready to use your glue. You squeeze just very slowly, it'll come out. Maybe. There we go, a little bit of glue. So I'm going to put a little dot of glue right there. You can put it anywhere on your shell. And then you're going to put the string on it. And then you want to close the glue up because you're going to need it for your wood project too. Right, like that. Set that off to the side. I'm going to set this, I'm going to make sure that string's on there pretty good. I'm going to set this lid off to the side, and I'm going to work on my salt water. This is a jar or a bottle, bowl, cup, whatever you may have, doesn't matter. Fill it with some warm water. I'm going to pour the water in about 2/3 of the way, somewhere right around there. So I hold this up, that's going to be about how far it's going to be, see? Or like so. And then I am going to put all of the salt in there, or as much of it as it goes in there instead of outside. Now I'm not going to do it all at the same time. I'm going to stop and stir, because the size of the jar, the type of the salt, the warmth of the water is all going to vary how much salt you actually need. And as we found out in previous projects this summer, you don't put everything in there first. So I'm going to mix that up. I'm also going to, as I'm doing this, I'm going to take my food coloring. This color is turquoise. Yours might be different. There are lots of different colors that we put in there. And you can take some of this food coloring and put drops in to make it as light or as dark a color as you want. Spin that around. Oh, that's going to be pretty. Look at that color. You know, maybe I want to add a little more water, fill it up just a little bit more. Got to make sure that all that salt gets dissolved in there. A little bit of salt, because you want to make sure there's lots of salt, because that salt is going to collect on your seashell, hopefully. That's the point. You mix and mix and mix. Like that. So most of it is all dissolved. I can still see a few little flakes, but that looks pretty darn good. All right, well, my movie producer's telling me to add more salt. So I'm gonna add more salt. And keep stirring. See, I don't know everything. Stir and stir. Oh, so because the water's warm, it's absorbing more of the salt. And as it cools off, that salt is gonna come back out and be able to crystallize, right? All right, how's that look? All right, so I've done that, done there. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this. It should be dry. If it's not quite dry yet, you can wait. Oops, see, that one wasn't quite dry. You can wait until it's dry. You're gonna take your string. I'm not gonna put that in there. Wait until it's dry. It'll take a little bit longer. You're gonna take your string, you set it in. It's gonna absorb some of that with your shell in there. Get that in there, right, like so. And then very careful. I'm gonna put this in there anyways, just to see what happens to it. Let's drop that right in there and see if that grows anything. And then the lid goes on. And you twist it down just a little bit, just enough to hold it in place, like that. The toothpicks were there just to keep it all in place before the lid goes on, and you let it sit. And that is gonna stay there. Don't disturb it too much. Leave it there for several days. It should grow a crystal. We'll find out. I will make a video of mine towards the end of this next week and see what happens. I'll pull it out and see what it looks like, okay? All right, and that is making, or my efforts of making a saltwater crystal reef. I hope yours goes as well or better than mine, and I'll see you later.